that have expressed an interest, the Chamber of Commerce, the YMCA, the Table Mountain Golf Course, and the Veterans Memorial Park are the four that, as of now, have signed up for it. Okay?
Great. Looking forward to see what they present.
And obviously, at the next meeting, those presentations, after the screening effect, will be presented.
Great, thank you, Bob. Now we have the Oroville Area Chamber of Commerce update.
Jackie, I have a flash drive.
I don't have that computer here. That would have been-
Mr. Chairman, you want to take this time to welcome new committee member Shannon DeLong?
It's in the closet.
I don't know if it's on the agenda, I didn't see it.
Numbers, so.
In the future piece.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Good point. Just before we get more moving forward, I know that Sunny Brent is with us, not with us today, and I want to welcome
Shannon DeLong.
Shannon DeLong. Good to have you with us, Shannon.
Welcome.
Hello, so I did have a presentation, but it was just reporting numbers. I did not get it in soon enough, so you just missed the pretty pictures that I was going to show.
Do you have it?
I do have it
I'll
on.
go print it real quick for everybody.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Okay. So I just wanted to do a brief update on what we did in 2020 with our SBF money and how we've been reaching out to the community with tourism. So first off, we have our website that showcases tourism in Oroville, which is visitoroville.com. And I'm very happy to say that this last year of unique visits, we had over 9,000, and that's an increase of 2,000 visitors from 2019 to that website. And then total page views, we had just about 15,000, which is an increase of 3,500 page views from 2019. So all of our stuff looks like it's starting to reach more and more people as the years go on. So we're just going to plan on continuing to update this. We will, for our website, have a new piece going in through our chamber member management system, Chamber Nation. They have created a new app called the Oroville Chamber Marketplace, and it's essentially like a virtual visitor center. So once we have all the back end filled on that, that will be added to our website this year. Then next on our website, last year we did continue to update our signature events pages. So that would be the Arbor Day Festival, Wildflower and Nature Festival, Feather Fiesta Days, Farmers Market, Olive Festival, Oroville Fireworks, Salmon Festival, Parade of Lights, and the Snow Goose Festival. And even though most of those were canceled due to COVID-19, we still kept it up to date with information on, well, look for it in 2021. And here's an example of the events that have happened in the past. And if you would like to participate in the future, you can sign up through our email or, for example, for Feather Fiesta Days through Downtown Oroville's email. So everyone got kept up to date, even though events didn't happen, unfortunately. And then we continued putting billboards up on Highway 70 and one off of Oro Dam, showcasing our website, visitoroville.com. So once you guys get the presentation, you'll see two of the things we did promote last year was the Feather River Fish Hatchery and the Brad Freeman Trail. So we just keep those up to try and get tourists interested in the recreation in the area. Another thing we've continued to do is through email promote tourism. So we have a general email list of about 1,200 people, and then we also give updates to our members, which is at about 280 members. And we have a specific section for tourism, which promotes information on Oroville State Parks, DWR / Lake Oroville, the Four Bay Aquatic Center, and this last year we added in Explore Butte County as they do
Thank you, sir.
itineraries that include the Oroville area. So we've been sharing that out weekly on our weekly e-bulletins. And then when it comes to special events, like last year, we did do the 4th of July fireworks celebration. So to help with fundraising for that, we did separate emails just to promote fundraisers. Thank you, Bill. And then we've continued to promote tourism through Facebook. So on our general Facebook page, we have 2,100 followers, which is an additional 330 we gained last year. And our reach was 120,000, which unfortunately was a decrease from 2019. So we reached less people, but part of that is from normally we spend money to boost our advertising with annual community events. And we do it with all the events, but due to COVID, since all the events were canceled, the only one we really boosted was 4th of July. So I believe that is why there was a drop in reach, because we just didn't spend the money to get the extra reach for the huge annual community events. But we did still continue promoting any events that were happening. The example in the PowerPoint is the Father's House Church did Lights of Hope, which was an entire outdoor Christmas event. They had a light walk, they had sledding, they had an ice skate rink that came later. So stuff like that, we still wanted to get out to the community and invite people to come join us for the holidays. Lastly, we still have our visitor center open. We've been taking tourism calls, tourism walk-ins, and answering tourism emails. This was especially effective last year due to restrictions bouncing back and forth when it comes to state parks. So I will say last year we had an increase in calls concerning if the parks were open for camping, if the parks were open for hiking. And so we've kept up to date on all that local information to let people know, yes, well, day area use is open, but overnight isn't. And overnight will be open in a month. We're planning on that. So that is what we did in 2020 with our SBF funds. So, any questions?
Any questions from the dais?
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
member.
Committee Member Bittman?
Is the perception here where you'd actually be able to look at the places to go on that website, or how does that work?
So it'd kind of be like a virtual form of our lobby where we have brochures, informationals, and it'll especially showcase both chamber members and just recreational members. But they've been working on where you can actually enter in and see brochures that, let's say, state parks put up for camping. And then it would have a direct contact, a local state parks agent. And so it's all supposed to be user-friendly for anyone coming out of the area. They can see the maps, they can see the information, they can get a direct line, all just through our virtual visitor center.
So like if you're gonna walk the trails up on Table Mountain, you possibly could tie into I think it's Chico has the trail map that
Yeah.
is in great detail, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
see-
it's just a matter of gathering all the information to implement
one
it.
place.
Yes, because it's also has to do with the chamber, so there's also not only just a visitor center through this chamber area marketplace, but there's supposed to be a more well laid out business directory that's more than just a listing. So
Yeah.
it's not just tourism, all chamber stuff too that we have to backfill in, but we're planning on implementing that on Visit Oroville. So it is a nice virtual visitor center on there.
It sparks my interest because I'm thinking might be nice to have a virtual tour scenario for the museums in town. You know,
Which actually, as a chamber, we have worked on. We hired Chris Saraga. We've been working with Michelle Kahn. And we did a filming of a virtual tour of the 5 city museums. Right now, Chris is in editing mode.
Okay.
And so on February 27th, Explore Butte County is doing a museum weekend. Chris should have the videos done by then. And so that will be our help to push out, hey, we now have virtual tours of our 5 city museums on there.
That's neat. That's a great idea. I think that's It's a nice link to seeing everything here. That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions for Amber?
No.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
In regards to presentations, it would be nice just to kind of put a comment out there for the projects that are ongoing, that are funded by the SBF. It would be great when we have our quarterly meetings to reach out to those and get an update, especially since we only have quarterly meetings right now. For example, the Brad Freeman Trail, I'm not sure if anybody's here from Parks that could give an update on where that's at. I would like to know. Is there anybody? Mr. Fowler, do you know? Not to put you on the spot. I don't have anything. Okay. Thank you. But just in the future, for projects that are open, if those could be there to give us an update.
We'll make sure that at the next, at every SBF meeting from now on, that we have an update on all of the existing projects.
Great. Thank you, sir. Moving on to regular business. Really exciting. Today we get to choose a new chair. Give this gavel away.
Okay, so the staff report for number 7. I can't, okay. The old mics used to have a button, a red button. Anyways, the staff report is number 7. Basically, at this point, you need to nominate somebody to be the chairperson. Based on the rules and regulations, the chair will move to Feather River Recreation Park this year. And then for the vice chair can be from either side. It's only the chair that is limited to be in the, pardon the pun, the chair for 2 years. Scott was in a little bit longer because of the resignation of the previous chairperson. Okay?
I'll nominate. You want to do it?
Go for it.
I'll nominate Scott Kent Fowler from Feather River Parks and Recreation as our new chair.
I second that.
Is there a vote?
You need a vote?
There it is. There you go.
Motion carries with 5 yeses and 0 nos.
All right.
I'd like to make a nomination for Mr. Pittman
Uh-oh.
for the vice chair.
All right.
I'll second that.
Motion carries with 5 yeses and 0 nos.
Neil.
Very nice.
Mr. Chairperson, or
You
new
might keep the
Chairperson,
same position for
I was going to say,
voting.
can we
Yeah, for
stay in the
today.
same spot just for this meeting because of
Yep.
the voting?
Great.
And while we're
Let's
on
not
that subject,
confuse
though,
us.
I'd like to thank you for doing an absolutely wonderful job, Chairman, or
Thanks.
ex-chairman,
Ex
chairperson, chair they,
committee member.
Yeah.
committee member.
Thanks. No, where's my rose? A bouquet, chocolates?
It's in the lobby.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
The party has been deferred because of COVID.
Right. It's been an honor to serve in this role, and I'm looking forward to the future and have full confidence on Mr. Fowler's going to do an amazing job.
Thank you. And I too want to say that you've done a really good job. I'm really pleased with everybody on this committee, and I look for a very bright 2021. I think some good things are going to really happen this year. So, moving forward. Item number 8, we have adding an advisory member representative to the Supplemental Benefits Fund Steering Committee.
Okay, and just a couple of comments on that. This has been a discussion in previous years, and it's never officially happened. It can happen. It requires DWR to approve the recommendation for the advisory member. The advisory member's group has to have been a signer of the supplemental agreement. And we do have a letter in the packet from Eric recommending or approving that recommendation, and it's actually for California State Parks. Aaron has kind of been a de facto member, in my entire time that I was here, that Aaron was in his job, he was at probably 99% of the meetings.
Yeah.
So
More than
it
you.
would be open for discussion at this point, if there's any discussion. If not, then there would need to be a vote of the steering committee to officially add that additional advisory member. It's a non-voting member, but it's an advisory member that expectations would be that they attend all meetings and provide input.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, I recommend that we direct staff to add Aaron Wright as a representative.
I'll
from State
second that
Park.
motion.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded.
Committee members, if I could we, I'd like to attempt another run at your motion and change your motion to we are adding State Parks, a representative from State Parks, not specifically Aaron Wright, because if Mr. Wright decides to retire one day, which I'm sure he will, he's, we can't replace him. He's irreplaceable. So let's just do he is the right guy, and I agree with that. I think there's so much more.
You amend your motion?
For Aaron. So I'd like to amend the
I
motion.
will
if you
amend
would.
the motion that we nominate a representative from State Parks.
I'll second that motion from State Parks.
Motion carries with 5 yeses and 0 nos.
Congratulations, Aaron. Another meeting.
Yeah.
Of course, you already been
Mr.
coming
Chair.
anyway, but
You actually get a nameplate, too.
Eric?
Just a comment from the Department of Water Resources. Just to be clear, I'd sent an email. It wasn't an actual letter. Now that we've had the vote, I can get the letter,
Letter,
but I just
okay.
wanted to point that out. So that'll be a follow-up item for me to actually get the letter from DWR supporting the vote, so.
Thank you.
Jackie, have we had any comments from the public on this, or does anyone wish to speak on it?
Mr. Chairperson, or City Administrator, I do not see any public comments on this item at this time.
Thank you.
And I did not receive any written communication ahead of time.
Okay, moving forward to item number 9, Feather River Center Agreement number 3280 amendment. The SBF Steering Committee will receive updated information regarding the 2018 NOFA agreement number 3280 with the Feather River Center and consider a contract amendment and extension.
Okay, so in your packets is the letter from Brad Cook, and actually, if you don't know Brad, stand up for a minute. This is Brad Cook. Brad is the executive director. He actually replaced Tony.
Yeah,
And-
I've been on it for 3 months now.
Yeah, so his letter is really very clear. I believe at the last meeting when this item was discussed, it was a little still too open-ended. He has come back with very specific items for expending the funds that he would like to have recategorized from the original grant. And they are detailed in 3 categories: recreational educational equipment and safety systems, aquatic center facility upgrades, and marketing and advertising. And each of the categories below it has very specific items, which, as you may recall, previously we had a little bit of an issue matching up expenditures with items that were in the contract. This puts that issue to rest. And if that is acceptable, the other request is to extend the agreement to February 20, bear with me, to February 1st, 2022. And of course, the obvious reason for that is that the forebay recreational activities with people in the water is not really occurring until pretty much till late spring, summer, and into August, into fall of next year, or this year. Okay?
Chairperson, just to add to that, I believe that part of the reason for the extension was there was quite a few delays that staff caused for the Feather River Aquatic Center, unraveling some of the things that we needed to unravel. So we have delayed this project, so we do recommend the extension.
Any comment from the committee?
actually, I have just a question. And thank you for making this more clear for us. On the item B in your categories, it says group camp. Are you guys going to have camping out there?
So, we've done this in the past.
Can we get him up to
years.
the mic?
Podium, please. Only because the meeting is recorded and it's the only way we can get your voice.
Yeah, so we have had camping with school groups from the Oroville area in the last few years. But this time, with the help of Aaron and Matt Teague, we've come up with an idea to actually build a group campsite officially instead of the camping on the lawn there, and turning it into, so we have overnight events. And we can introduce astronomy, full moon floats, and have the option to camp now.
Great. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a really great deal, and so we've kind of reached this agreement of where and what we're going to do, and so that's why it's in the budget.
What kind of capacity for your camp would you have, and just roughly?
I like to think of a 30 max kind of thing, you know,
cool.
the size of a class, you know,
Yeah.
fifth graders, fourth graders, whatever we get.
Great idea.
That's great. And the cabana, when I think cabana, I think also guacamole. So are you guys going to be serving?
Yeah, that's so that we can have our Tahitian themed parties and
Great.
stuff.
So I have a quick question. You mentioned astronomy. Do you have plans for actual astronomy events for
Yeah,
21?
in the past 3 years, we've done the Perseids, a couple other celestial events, and we've had a lot of people show up. And we also own a pretty high-end telescope, too.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. So we really want to focus on doing some more nighttime stuff, especially with the kids.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else from the committee?
Just thank you for the work itemized report. That really makes our job a lot easier.
And
Thank you.
and mine also.
Yes, appreciate that.
I have one more question, actually.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline?
Yeah, I do. So I wanted to extend it out to February of '22. Almost, I think everything on here is going to happen in 2021. And including where I have estimates for the shade awnings, the ramps, the group camp, I already have an estimate on. So the ball is rolling.
Great.
So I'd love to see the capability to camp and have things done in August. That's when the Perseid meteor showers. So by the end of the summer.
Awesome. And then, so individuals or schools that are interested, what is the path to
Well, and that's the big question mark, right? Is before the pandemic, we were doing 2,500 school kids out there in organized programs, and that's out the door, right? So hopefully if they're back in school, regular, in person, and they can ride on school buses, then we'll be back in business doing field trips.
I'm sorry, yeah, that's good, but what's the path for somebody to reserve, you know,
Oh, reserve anything like a program or the campsite or?
yeah, all that?
It's on our website. You go on and we have a special event tab, and they could say, I have 100 fifth graders for the end of the year school trip, and then our special events person, which happens to be me, contacts them, and then I set up the events.
Great. Is that connected as well with the chamber for people to contact you, or is there a
Which
connection
I
between
want
the two?
to, I really want to talk to Amber, yeah, because we are connected already.
Yeah.
We just got to reconnect.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the extension with the line item specifications.
I'll second.
Chairperson, before we vote, could we just check and see if there's any comment from the public on Zoom?
I apologize. Any comment?
Are there
From the
any public members that would like to speak on this item? Please press the raise your hand feature. Mr. Chairperson, I see you. Dave Steindorf would like to speak on this item.
We'll go back to screen.
Dave, if you'd like to unmute yourself, you have the floor.
Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Hi, Ray. Sorry, I meant to let you know that I actually am in attendance today as one of the advisory members. And then also just say, yeah, I think this is a great proposal and look forward to the committee support. Thank you.
Mr. Chairperson, that is the only speaker wishing to speak on this item.
Thank you.
The motion carries with 5 yeses and 0 nos.
Yay, thank you
All right.
very much.
Okay, moving forward, we have the steering committee advisory members and staff comments, Department of Water Resources Advisory Report. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jackie, would you mind putting the slides up, please? Oh, there they are.
There you go.
Excellent, okay. Okay, so I wanted to provide, first of all, an update just on our water year. And I would caution that we are in the early February, so a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the spring. As we know, in 2017, we saw a pretty interesting event happen in February of 2017. So still is early, but I will bring your attention to the bottom left quadrant of the table where it says current, and there's that arrow. So this is as of this morning from the California Data Exchange website. That's where we are on the 8-station index. So this is an index of 8 different precipitation stations through the Northern Sierra and Southern Cascades that generally represents the Lake Oroville watershed and some of our other Northern California watersheds. So each line is a different water year, and so I know it's kind of a busy chart, but it does provide you with the ability to compare where we are with some of the other water years. So you can see the only water year that so far was this dry at this point in the year was the 76-77 drought period. So we're not doing very well. We're actually below where we were last year, that 2019-2020, the black line you see right above it. So I know with this recent set of storms, it's probably going to change that and we may actually go above where we were last year. But in any event, we're not starting out real well this year, but hopefully it's going to change, over the next month or so. And if you just look at the very top of that chart, yeah, that's what it looked like. The 2017 line, that was the wettest year we had on record. Lastly, the shaded area, kind of the light blue, that if you look at the top of that line, go over to the right, it says 51.8. That's between 1966 and 2015, a 50-year period. Basically, that's the average. So seems like it's pretty rare in California for us to ever actually get to the average. We seem to have one extreme or the other, which makes up that average. But I just wanted to call that out, that is where the average is. So we're quite a bit below average at this point. So let's hope for a wet February and wet March. And the next meeting, I'll have a projection for Lake Oroville. I don't like to show the Lake Oroville projection at this point, just because it's always so filled with error, because you just really don't know at this point what's going to happen with the winter. So, but at the next one, I'll be able to provide that information. Okay, as far as Feather River flows, here's a picture of the low flow channel. That's the fish barrier dam on the right there, and the beginning of the fish ladder. And you see the Table Mountain Bridge there in the middle of the picture. And so, anyways, this is the Feather River low flow channel, the portion that flows through the city of Oroville. Let's see, 800 CFS is what's flowing right now. Then you combine that with the release that's coming out of the After Bay outlet right now, which is 450. So the total, what we call the high flow channel release, which goes down through the bottom part of the Oroville Wildlife Area, is at 1,250 CFS. And so I'm going to get an update soon from our forecasters, but it looks like the flows are going to stay probably around there. They're certainly not going to be coming up very much, because Lake Oroville is pretty low, as you'll see in an upcoming slide. So we're definitely trying to fill the lake right now. All right, next slide, please. Okay. So I wanted to provide some updated information. This is a slide that the photo I had presented back in August of last year. So it showed where the state of construction was out at the Loafer Point facility. So this is the Loafer Point boat ramp facility. It's the new boat ramp facility that we are in the process of constructing. It is on the east side of Bidwell Canyon. That's the marina you see right there, all the boats there. So It's on the east side of Bidwell Canyon, that cove there. So what you see in the picture is the stage 1 boat ramp. That's the boat ramp in the parking lot that you see with the stripes on it. That was completed in this last summer. Includes a bathroom, a 3-lane boat ramp with a boarding float. And so that was completed during the summer. And then you see towards the middle top of the picture, you see where the asphalt road turns to that light color. That's concrete. Once you get to the high water mark of the lake, anything below the high water mark of the lake, we need to use concrete. We can't use asphalt anymore, so that's just an environmental requirement. So it's a lot more expensive, but that's what we need to do. So that was as far as they got with the construction last summer, and they had to stop because the lake levels didn't allow them to do any further construction. But there's a future, at that point, there was a future stage 2 boat ramp, which was in the works. So if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. This is actually from a different perspective. On the left-hand side, that's the actual stage 2 boat ramp. So this picture is was taken about a week or so ago. And so it shows, the progress that we've made. So that road you saw that dead-ended it now connects onto this construction project. And so we were able to put the boat ramp down to the 702-foot lake elevation this year. But with the rising lake levels, they needed to cut that off. So depending on what the lake levels do next coming year, we'll extend that down if the lake levels allow. It is a 6-lane boat ramp, 2 boarding float lanes, and we're making good headway. I mean, one of the nice things about having a light winter is it allows us to do a lot of construction work. So we did get quite a bit done. So it's kind of a two-edged sword. I never want to see a super low lake, but it does allow us to get some good construction work done in the lake bed. So, but anyway, so that's our latest and greatest work. And that project's going on. I don't think they're out working today just because of the weather, but yeah, they've been actively working on that project. And then over on the right-hand side, that's the Bidwell Canyon boat ramp complex. And so what you see there is the completed stage 2 project. Now this picture is pretty far away, so you don't really have a good idea how big that parking lot is. But for those that remember the gravel parking lot there at the stage 2, it's now paved with concrete, and it's about twice the size of the previous parking lot. So we expanded the size of the parking lot and we paved it. We added 2 lanes onto the boat ramp and a boarding float lane. And that project is now done. I think they're doing the final job walk today for that project. So yeah, I'm very pleased to see that. I never liked having that gravel lot there, so I was very happy to finally get that paved, and now it's completed. We didn't have enough space to get the rest of that Bidwell complex, but just off the picture to the right is where the stage 3 launch ramp is, and that's what's being used right now. We extended that launch ramp back in 2015 and extended it down to a lower elevation, so it's been providing launching. We had a pretty low water year this year, so but we had paved launching because of that. So the lake is coming up slowly. It's about 700 feet today. We actually hit that mark, which means that the spillway boat ramp can reopen now. So we'll be. I think Aaron had sent me an email earlier today that tomorrow. Parks will be opening the spillway boat ramp again, so we'll have paved launching there as well. So it's good news, and I'll the next meeting I'll show I'll keep showing pictures of these construction projects just to keep everyone updated. And I think that was it. Was there one more? No, that was it. Okay.
Is it?
Just to get up to speed, has there been any work done on the lime saddle?
There is a project that got suspended because of the rising lake levels for the access to the marina, a trail to get down to the marina.
Yeah.
So that's the project that's going on up there. So we worked on that project last year, and we got chased out with the rising lake levels. So when the lake gets down really low, we'll be able to get back in there and work on that project.
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, ideally we'll be able to take it down, but we're always dependent upon the lake levels. So it was always in the settlement agreement to extend Bidwell, And, but, you know, it was waiting on a settlement agreement. 2013 was a bad year, 2014 was bad, and then 2015 hit. We had that super low. So when you have those back-to-back years, that's when you get those very, very low lake levels. So we actually did a big push to go ahead and implement that project early, prior to the license being issued, the new license, because we felt, you know, we're not going to have this kind of an opportunity very often. So we actually were able to get authorization and did that project back in 2015, which is nice because, you know, you never derive the benefit of the launching until sometime after you build it, right? So the same, you know, so did the project in 2015, got that in place, and now we have that. That ramp goes down to 660, so it allows us to launch down to 665. And so to answer your question, this project at Loafer, we'd like to take that down further than that. So if the lake goes down further, we'll take it down further. But, you know, again, we're just kind of dependent upon what the lake levels will allow us to do.
Just a quick question to Eric. Is there an update on the signing of the FERC license?
No, no update.
I'd be remiss in not asking that question.
You know, I'd love to tell everyone 6 months, but, you know, it's gotten to be, that joke's not even funny anymore. So, you know, I have no idea. It used to always seem like we were just about to get it, Now I don't even know anymore.
Okay.
Maybe that's just it. When I get really comfortable that it's never going to get issued, that's when all of a sudden it's going to show up in the mail. But we haven't heard anything. I mean, you know, and FERC doesn't, you know, they don't have any requirement to tell us anything about that. So, you know, the answer is no. I'm expecting us to get the environmental assessment and some follow-up work that FERC needed to do with the spillways. We'll probably get those. I would imagine we'll get those documents first before they would then go into the license issuance. So I think that would be probably a next milestone. When we get the environmental assessment completed, that whole, you know, from the spillways, which, you know, they have everything now. They have all the information that they need. We're just waiting for them to issue that order from that, you know, that event. Then I would imagine after that would free them up to then take on the next big issue, which would be the license issuance. So that's my own just you know, personal expectation is that'll happen first before the license will get issued.
Thank you.
Any other comment?
The reimbursement from FEMA, where does that bring you up to? I know there's a recent reimbursement for the activities. Where are we at with that?
You know, I don't know. I don't follow that very closely, so I don't know. I could find out though. And
I was just curious if the project FEMA helped make it whole. I mean, obviously any amount would help, but I'm just curious as to, you know, what was the outlay and then where are we at with and I just saw in the paper that FEMA another 300 million or something along that line. I don't know what the details are, but
yeah, I know we were approved for a large additional amount of FEMA reimbursement, but as far as like whether we actually received it yet or, you know, was just the approval, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
follow that stuff very closely. So
appreciate that.
Okay, moving forward, if there's nothing else from anybody?
No.
Mr. Chairperson, I do have an Andy Bambur, I'm probably butchering his last name, that's requesting to speak on this item.
Bam Bauer.
Okay,
He's my alternate.
Okay.
please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Just to follow up on Committee Member Pittman's inquiry, we did get additional funding was initially rejected, but then of 308 million earlier last year, and then that is what was recently authorized, and our expectation, DWR's expectation is that the total reimbursements will end up at about 630 million, but the 260 was in the initial authorization, and then there was 308 that you probably just read about that was recently authorized.
Yeah.
For which would be a total of 568.
Good.
And that was Andy Bambauer with DWR. He's chief of the Recreation and Land Use section of DWR.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
No.
Thank you.
I might make a suggestion to the chairman. I see Jonathan Young is on there, and I believe he's our new State Water Contractors representative. Might welcome him to the committee. He replaced Tim Haynes.
So that is not the same as the State Water Contractors Advisory Report?
No, I'm just
Okay.
looking at Jonathan Young. He might welcoming to the committee as he's the new state water
Yes, he is the new
contractors?
representative for the state water contractors,
Okay.
replacing.
Well,
Tim
welcome,
Haynes.
Jonathan. Would you like to say anything?
Oh, here we go. Okay. You can't see it.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm very excited to meet everybody and hopefully be able to make my way up there soon. And just as a word of caution, I will not be replacing Tim Haynes' very large and very capable shoes, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so moving to the State Water Contractors Advisory Report.
Okay, I don't believe he
Is there
has
one?
a report, so.
Nothing new to report. I just wanted to introduce myself and I look forward to meeting everyone.
Thank you. We have the SBF Program Specialist Written Report by Jordan Daly.
Okay, I just make a quick comment. In her written report, she does have grant updates. And I have also made a note to mention to her to have the grantees here at oncoming meetings. Kind of important, the stage has completed all of their funding. That was a very large 2 grants, as you may recall. So their project is completely funded. The Veterans Memorial Park, again, is still anticipating construction. There is an email from P.J. Shepherd, and I read it. I was a little confused if the county was applying for funds through a grant that's being offered by the state of California, or if they were approving it. And it's $400,000, which is a big piece of what they want to do with completing the Veterans Memorial Park. Okay? That's it.
Any comments from the committee? Questions? Anything from the audience?
Actually, I would throw something that I sit in another world as from the Rotary Club, and just to let you know that there have been some planning meetings for the fireworks celebration in July. It's kind of focused on the idea that it might return to the Oroville Airport and possibly have a bigger activity with the fly-in for the day earlier. So it's real preliminary stuff, but I'm just want to let you know that the group has had at least 2 meetings here discussing the options, and it'd be nice to see whatever happens. There's a lot of strong interest, and there was a lot of help from all the multiple agencies that were there last year, and they're just, the discussions are beginning. So looking for ideas, and Rotary would like it to be as much a family event as possible. And that's their only call at this point. So more will come, I'm sure, in the future.
Thank you, David. Okay, any correspondence?
None.
None. Call for agenda items for the next meeting. Any? Shannon, this is your first meeting. What do you think so far? Why don't you tell everybody who you are briefly,
Okay.
if you don't mind?
Microphone on. My name's Shannon DeLong. I'm a local resident. Went to school here from Ophir through Las Plumas. Then kind of moved away from a while, but came back, worked Cal Fire as a career. Retired from Cal Fire last year and really love this community and want to make good things happen. It seems very unrepresented and underfunded, and it seems, I just think it's a beautiful place. There's so much to do here, and I really enjoy it. I'm an outdoor enthusiast and spend a lot of time out there. My partner's really into botany and native plants, and we're both docents at the Nature Center, trying to help down there, keeping that going. Have worked with the Feather River Center and putting on a film festival for a couple years in a row. And yeah, just want to promote the town and show the bright side of Oroville, you know. So I'm very happy to be here and honored to be on the committee. Kind of a shock that I'm here, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here. He's going to add a lot of good to Oroville.
Awesome.
So.
Welcome. And I would like to thank Sonny Brandt for his service I don't think that any one of us could match the heart that Sonny had in this committee. And he was just a very dedicated individual, and I hope that whatever avenues he is pursuing, they are successful.
I concur. Okay, if there's nothing else, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
There you go. Sounds like a winner.